Excuse my voice, I'm slightly sick right now, so I decided to do a video. What's up? So, a lot of those sounds have the Digitalis on it. I'm just going to kind of start from scratch, but I kind of wanted to show first kind of where I had gotten with a bit more effort earlier today. And yeah, so Digitalis is a very interesting plugin. It looks like this, and it has a few different modules that you can change the signal flow between. It's just this, then that, and then it goes through the mix, and then each one of these modules has its own mix in the top right corner. And you can also enable them and disable them with these little power buttons. And you can tweak the mix of each module to your taste and put them in whatever order you want. Then at the bottom of the plugin here, we have some modulation. We have 1, 2, 3, 4 different sequencers, and each sequencer is a 16-step sequencer, and it has this little smoothing, which basically turns it into a slew limited sequence, and it sounds like a LFO. When you turn it up, it really starts to sound smooth like an LFO, or like a typical basic LFO, and something like a subtractive synth. But even in those, you get square wave LFOs and other things, so it's basically a step sequencer, but instead of steps, you have these knobs with the value. And the way you route this to something is by clicking on this little downward arrow, and that'll expand the modulation destinations. And I guess, as far as I know, you can only choose one per sequencer. I haven't found a way to do more. It switches between them when I do this. And then you'll notice also this little kitty cat, and this will tell you all about the synth. So like, I can hover over this and it'll say, the glitch section introduces random variations to the rhythm or pitch of the repeater. Right? So if you don't know what it is, you just hover over it. Bit crush. This section entails a highly controllable bit crush effect. Cool. So that's your bit crush. What is this? This section entails a highly controllable bit crush effect. Oh, I had to click on it. Here we go. Continually adjust between mid-riser and mid-treat algorithm. More futility means the bit-crushed signal is more likely to cut out. So we can start experimenting with this, but I'm just going to keep going through the plugin a little bit first, because this data section is really interesting, and it can be kind of confusing at first. So you can draw right here. See, I have like an eraser and a pencil, and there's all these cool shapes in here that do different things. So you have different types of things you can do. And how I think about this is it basically like a filter, like some sort of spectral filter thing. The data window applies a host of frequency-related effects to the audio. That's what it says. And then right here, this is kind of a blend, as far as I know, like a blending. Now, I don't want to go into too much detail, but I just wanted to read what the cat says on a few things. Like down here, this says telecommunications. What the heck is that? So I can see maybe this slider is packet loss, removes frequency bins from the audio with a threshold algorithm. Sorry, I read that super slow because I'm squinting to be able to read that. But you know, as I'm playing around with these things, I've kind of figured out more or less how to use them, at least so far, and so I could show you that next. So let's just go over here to a new part of the audio, or of the grid. And loop a few bars up. And what is this instrument? I think I'm going to put it on a break beat. So I'm going to get a break beat out of one of the packs I have. And let's see. Yeah, let's use this one. So this has a lot of texture in it, but it also is pretty punchy and dynamic. So hopefully you'll be able to pretty easily tell what Digitalis is doing to the dynamics of a signal. So I'll put Digitalis on here. And let's turn the first two off and just play with the data first. See, this is basically a filter with a time function going on. And we can take that filtered signal. I'm going to do a scribble here. Just a weird kind of mark. So we can pitch this around. So let's take our sequencer and send it to the pitch shift. So I'm kind of got some new weird highs to the sound. Let's now take this and put it through the corruption module. And this one is kind of where you get to bit crush things. And there's a decimate, which is kind of it's like a type of distortion. And this gets pretty experimental, so let's mess with this. So you can see right there, we can really change the sound a lot. So let's map one of these to the decimate amount, and then we'll have it kind of closed and then open up and stay open, and then maybe come back down and then open back up, and then maybe come down for a few and then a little bit. And let's try that on the decimate. Alright, so that's sounding pretty cool now. Let's get this time thing going on. And this basically is like a kind of like a beat repeat thing, but it has this cool random. And right here where it says rhythmic or chaotic, you can click that and it'll switch between chaotic or rhythmic. And then mono or stereo. And stereo adds a lot of width to the sound. So I'm going to click stereo on both of them and just go ham with this thing. And one thing I've found that's really fun with this is automating the repeater with one of these LFOs at the bottom, or step sequencers. So let's send this to the start. That's going to be in the repeat on. So we click repeat on. And then all the way left is going to be stopped. And then we can start it. And we can do start like every few of these. Start it again so that it's coming in and out. Yeah, something like that. So let's try, yeah, let's try that. Let's have a few of them on at once. There we go. So I'm going to use this last step sequencer to modulate the speed of the repeater. So that would be the repeater rhythm, I think, yeah. So now this will be different speeds. So what I did right there is I just set some of these to different dotted rhythms or triplet rhythms so that they never really overlap, or they don't go on top of each other. They're kind of randomly interacting, but it's not random. It's just really long polyrhythm stuff that just gets messy, and we can try some of that. So just a fun way to like make glitches, get weird experimental stuff. So there's kind of a sample we could work with. I'm just gonna delete that. Let's get let's try it on a tonal sample next. I want to just get like a square wave. Alright, let's try a low square wave. Let's use phase plant. Let's just go for a phase plant so we can use whatever we want. Let's go for a wavetable and let's do this. Oops, this one. Alright, so we have a sawtooth. Let's get the Digitalis. And I'm also going to put some clipping after it, just to beef up the signal again. So I'm going to give this a little bit of modulation on the volume just so that it doesn't get as boring. And maybe do some unison on it. Alright, so let's play with the Digitalis now. I'm going to start out with the corruption and just play with this bit reduction. So you can see the fatality will choke out the sound. And that's kind of dependent on how far the bit crush is. do a little wave shaping. Let's go for 3. some of our cool sounds at the end here. This bass line just to get myself out of MIDI mode. But yeah, so I hope that explained a few things about Digitalis. I know I didn't talk that much, but I feel like focusing on sounds is cooler too, to just play around with. So let's play around with some sounds and some samplers. Boom. on the stream right now. So I'm now going to put Digitalis on the snare and mess around with the snare. That's a few sounds made with Digitalis. Check it out. It's not a sponsored video. I just thought it was a cool plugin. And yeah, you should get it. It's only like 20 bucks. Oh, thanks, Exit. Yeah, nice little start of something, some idea. I don't know if I really like it that much, melodically speaking. But I'm liking the sounds. We could try maybe less melodic stuff real quick. Let's try something more simple. that's, I think, it for this stream. Until next time, I'm Sephiros. Thanks for checking this out. Sample packs on Patreon. Subscribe. Peace. Much love. Cheers.